The freezes in foreign aid that Doge has engaged in and restricting of US aid staff from going back in their facilities and the freezing of all of this aid that was going around the world with no alternative has left millions in the world without HIV treatment. And this is just HIV treatment. There's similar humanitarian initiatives going on in many different fields. For example, feeding the hungry, trying to provide others with other types of medical care, and other different US aid initiatives. Because not every US aid initiative is like transgender coloring book that like these hyper niche examples that pick out of nowhere, when the vast majority of the work is going to be more like stuff that's expected. It's stuff like this. And so as this foreign aid is being frozen, millions are going without this treatment and they don't have an alternative. The Chinese are not coming in to fill the void. The Russians are not coming in to fill the void. The African Union is not coming in to fill the void. And whatever void is filled, it probably will not fill the entirety of it. Whoever does come in, whether it's private support and NGOs from other locations or other nation states pooling resources together, it being able to cover this gap quick enough, I think, is unlikely. And this jeopardizes the health of more than 20 million people worldwide, including 500,000 children. Now, while this is all going on, and while they're continuing to freeze these different initiatives and access government transaction databases that sees over $6 trillion worth of value pass through it, Elon Musk is now facing some of the first legal challenges to this string of, let's just say, classified access, classified data and documents being given to him that he's able to access and allow his staff at Doge, including people who are between the ages of 19 and 24, fresh out of high school and college, being able to access all these classified documents. Not only are they being given to access to these documents, but also given the authority to cut, to make cuts, to recommend cuts, which are seemingly being followed through on, and freeze organizations that are actively engaged in work, which they don't have the authority to freeze. The thing that's crazy about all of this is most of this is illegal. We have yet to see a legal argument be made as to why they can access this classified information as unelected government assistants. These people were coming in to advise the government, being able to access some of the most vulnerable transaction systems in the entire country, that if these systems go down, if these transaction systems go down, I mean, that's going to affect social security payments, that's going to affect payments of government employees, that's going to affect the entire economy. And so it's very vulnerable, and giving them access to just about anybody, I mean, is that legal? They haven't made an argument as to how it's legal, and they certainly haven't made an argument as to why Elon Musk can unilaterally, from an unelected position, shut down US aid and restrict their employees from going in there, considering he was unelected and he does not retain the power of the purse. That is Congress. It is Congress which has gathered the finances and US tax dollars and allocated it to different government programs. They've already allocated US aid's budget and what those funds are supposed to go to. There is no way for those funds to be taken and used for any other purpose or to be frozen by somebody who's not even a government official, but is simply the richest man on earth, and so Trump is letting him run roughshod. That is all illegal, but it's going on anyway. And so we're starting to see the first legal challenges to this new Muskian regime. And it's first coming from a lot of big unions. I mean, there's a bunch of people suing, a lot of federal employees, but a lot of government federal employee unions. That means AFL-CIO and other government employee unions, the ones that represent the workers who are having their data, their employment data, and their financial data and the transaction data that is classified, some of the most vulnerable, most valuable data in the United States being accessed by Elon Musk. They're suing Elon Musk and his Doge department over this access, which they are arguing is illegal. Musk's team has led sweeping changes in federal government in the initial weeks of President Trump's term, including dismantling the U.S. Agency for International Development and gaining access to the Treasury Department's payment system. Today, they will come from the Department of Labor, the lawsuit states, warning that it would provide Musk with the non-public information about investigations into his companies. The plaintiff cited at least one Labor Department employee who was told Doge plans to visit and to do whatever they ask, not to push back, not to ask questions. not to ask questions. The Hill reached out to the Labor Department and the White House for comment. A flurry of legal action has been filed against Doge as it takes broad aim at the federal bureaucracy, claiming it is doing so without any legal authority. Doge seeks to gain access to sensitive systems before courts can stop them, dismantle agencies before Congress can assert its prerogatives in the federal budget, which would be its power of the purse, which it has the constitutional authority of, and intimidate and threaten employees who stand in their way, worrying about the consequences later, the complaint reads. Mind you, Doge is facing a lot of problems, both with this option of leave that he's offered people, and we don't know if that's legal. The dismantling of US aid, which was 100% not legal. The accessing of the systems, which the legality is more than in question. And I mean, this is not slowing down. It's not slowing down. He's trying to find more information to gut. He's trying to find more ways to take institutions that were constitutionally constructed by Congress and cannot be destroyed by anything else besides Congress. See, before, the way that it would work is Congress would make a department, and then a Republican who doesn't like it, or a person who doesn't like that department, would just appoint somebody to head it who shouldn't believe it, who doesn't believe it should exist. So they just don't do a lot, if any, enforcement, unless there would be something that'd be a real scandal, and it then reminds them constantly during their term in the office why that department existed in the first place. But the way Trump's doing it is just saying, screw that altogether. I don't care about the constitutional authority. Elon Musk is just going to go in there, this person who isn't even elected, the richest man on the planet, and he's just going to dictate what stays and what goes. Legality be damned. Again, it's just trying to act as quick and do as much as possible. And if you're going after the Consumer Protection Financial Bureau, the Labor Relations Board, USAID, as well as issuing a flurry of executive orders, many of them also unconstitutional, including, for example, revoking birthright citizenship, which is enshrined in the U.S. Constitution and was rejected by a Reagan-era judge. And you should read that opinion by the Reagan-era judge that rejected that. Just talking like this is blatantly unconstitutional. But if he could go fast enough and then possibly fall back upon his 3 Supreme Court picks, maybe he thinks he can slide away and get away with it, because he's not going to be able to legislate it, not with that slim majority. And even though Trump advertises himself as the deal maker, he didn't do much deal making in the first term. And so this is what we're left with. We're left with him letting the robber barons try to run roughshod before the cops can grab them and put them in cuffs. Even though Elon will never see cuffs because of the power and influence he has, I mean, none of this is legal, and they're just doing it anyway before anybody can say anything to stop them, hoping that the general momentum of a plurality win, not even a majority of the popular vote win, a win by 1.5%, is enough for them to just say, laws and processes be damned, just do what Trump says, just do what he says. Whether that will succeed or not is entirely up to the people who man the institutions, the legal challenges that will be made, and whether the court system can hold up, and making sure that the less leverage he has for the longer period of time, the better, i.e., he doesn't exactly win in 2 years, which means offering a positive vision for the future. Good luck, Ken Martin, new DNC chair, and David Hawk, co-chair. My goodness. Let's see, what's next?